viewers, Rectangular back, this time with another haul video. On the left we have the WWE Elite Dean Ambrose, and on the right we have the DCUC Boomerang, not to be confused with the Marvel Legends Boomerang. And if you've been watching my channel, you noticed that, much to the chagrin of Glenn Webb, the wrestling figures that we've been getting recently from the Shield series, these guys dressed in black, have been really useful in ACBA for generic thugs and or soldiers, SWAT members, whatever you want to classify them as. And Glenn commented on my last video saying that he's like, please, no more generic thugs and or wrestling figures used as generic thugs. And yeah, I can see where he's coming from, being a fan of wrestling, but basically when it comes to ACBA, anything goes. You know, if we were to complain to him about all the different Marvel Legends that he's cannibalized to make customs out of, then you know, that would be kind of ridiculous. You know, he's got to use what he's got to use to be able to create his art, and basically that's the same way we are with the ACBA. Any figure that looks like it will fit in with whatever setup display that you're working on, then more power to you. You know, it's only when you do some sort of crossover, and some people are cool with crossovers, more power to them. I'm not a fan of crossovers, so Superman fighting Sentry, you know, people might think that's cool, but I'm not into it. You know, when you have a guy who's obviously not a superhero like this Dean Ambrose, and you've got him, you know, fighting Captain America, even from the movie, you know, he would fit in perfectly, because there were a lot of dudes dressed like that in the movie, who, you know, could have been Shield agents, and I think that's, you know, I think that's a very appropriate use. So anyway, enough rambling. Yeah, I did just get him for a generic character to use for ACBA, and got him off of eBay from a Chinese seller for $15 shipped. So a little more than I wanted to spend, especially when he didn't come with any of the accessories. I think he comes with a folding chair and a camcorder, but not a deal breaker for me. I could not find him retail. The other two I found were the the other two Shield agents, or Shield characters. I can't remember what their names are, but got good deals on those, and figured I could, you know, spend a couple bucks. I did actually order him from a site, and for whatever reason they lost the package, or sold it to somebody else and forgot, but could have got him for the same price, mint on card, but that deal fell through, and I wanted this guy for the fingerless gloves and the unshaven, or he doesn't have a beard or goatee like the other characters do, and he's got short hair. And a guy who could almost be his brother, it looks like, Boomerang here. I saw, I think it was Chico or Harvey, working on a Dark Miss Marvel, and he used the scarf from this Boomerang character, so figured that was a really good idea, because if we don't end up getting a Dark Miss Marvel, aka Moonstone Miss Marvel, from Marvel Legends, then I'm going to have to make a custom. I did get some fabric material that I was going to make into a scarf and maybe put a wire into it, and could always do that, but I figured this would be always a safe bet. I thought that scarf would be a little bit easier to remove, but it looks like I'm going to have to take the X-Acto to it to get it off, which not a big deal since I'm going to have to paint it anyway. And I also got this guy on eBay. I think I paid, I want to say $7 shipped. Yeah, it was like $7 or $8 shipped. Might have been $7.50. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, pretty decent deal. I think he only came with the one boomerang, but since I'm not a UC collector, I didn't care. I can probably use that trench coat for another figure, and he's a pretty decent figure for base body custom since he's a dark color. I just have to clip that little boomerang piece that's on the front of the coat there to get that off, and probably Dremel down the boots and Dremel off the boomerang symbol off of his hat, and I could either put that head on another figure or just use this whole body as a custom. But anyway, not too shabby. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the next item. Next up from Bandai, we have the Tamashii Effect Impact gray version. And you may have seen Shartimus Prime's review of these already. I was a little bit late on the pre-order on this when she came up for pre-order, and ended up snagging it on Amazon. I think it probably ended up costing me the same, if not just a couple dollars more. But yeah, I thought about getting both the beige and the gray version, but thought that more than likely I was just going to need the gray one for to use like Shattered Pavement. And already people are taking a lot of shots. I saw Junior Williams already posting some pictures, and I think Feral Black. So I'll probably won't end up taking some shots until the hype dies down a little bit. I still need to build some dios for it to work, and probably want to have a hole cut into the dio for this to kind of fall into, because I think it looks weird if you just put it on a flat surface and the sides are buckling up, you know, what's equivalent to like a foot or more from the side of the figure. So anyway, just my 2 cents. And yeah, this thing comes with like a stand, or you can prop it up, or it comes in different segments so that you can just use parts of it, or you can put it on a stand. And yeah, very cool. Glad that we're starting to get a lot more stuff like this that we can use for ACBA. It really helps out, especially people who don't have diorama making skills, which I have yet to see what my skills are going to be. I haven't really stepped into that pool yet, but hopefully I'll be able to integrate it well with whatever I come up with. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the next item. Next up we have the Marvel Infinite Series Wasp. Now, you may have seen that I was lucky enough to find one of these at retail at Target a couple weeks back, and I forgot they're going for like $12 at Target, which seems pretty steep. I just kept hitting up Hasbro Toy Shop, and was lucky enough that they finally showed up there, and was able to snag these two. I think they were $10 there, and I knew that my buddy Michael Wisman was trying to find one at retail and not finding any. So once I snagged these, I told him that I would let him have one of them. And yeah, so these are formerly known as Marvel Universe, which is 3 3/4 inch, but I primarily don't collect MUs unless they are going to excuse me, work for multi-scale display and ACBA. So I needed one to keep in the from the factory painted as the modern version of Wasp, and then I wanted another one to repaint as more of a classic Wasp in her red costume. So that's what's going to happen to one of these. And yeah, so lucky to finally get them, and hopefully they'll be showing up in more quantities in the near future. I think they are going to do a revision case with 2 per case instead of the 1 that it is now. So cross your fingers and keep your eyes peeled. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the next item. And finally this week we have the Marvel Legends Black Widow from the Captain America Winter Soldier wave. Wave 2, that is. I had been camped out on, just like for the Wasp figures I was able to snag, I was camped out on Hasbro Toy Shop for about 2 weeks solid, every morning and pretty much all day long, constantly refreshing, checking to see if she would pop up, and she popped up a couple times. I had her in my cart at least once, but I had forgotten to log in, and by the time I logged in she was gone. So very difficult to get this. I'm hopeful that once she's 2 per case in this revision wave that folks will be able to get their hands on her a little bit easier. And so this makes my 3rd Black Widow, and just in case you think I'm not being honest about that, here are the other 2 that I have with the shorter version, the Avengers haircut, and the head from the 2-pack Black Widow. And wondering if anybody has noticed anything different about this figure in the middle. Give you a few seconds, and congratulations to anyone who spotted that she has different feet. I had been wanting to try this and gave it a shot. I removed the feet from one of my spare Satana figures from the Thunderbolts box set and put them on this Black Widow. The pegs are not the same. You look on this Satana, well, number one, her legs are much beefier than Black Widow's. They're a lot more muscular. This to me is an excellent female figure. This figure is way too waif as far as I'm concerned, as Hasbro is notorious for making most females way too skinny. But these pegs are much bigger. You know, the discs are going to be bigger, so the peg holes, which you may or may not be able to see in camera there, are not going to fit. Not only, I mean, I would have to Dremel out the hole for her to swap those feet, but they're not going to look very well, I don't think, and definitely not going to offer enough stability for this figure. So not a very effective swap if you want to try this for yourself. If you want to, more power to you, but probably what I'll end up doing is just putting these tiny feet back on and try to sculpt some more surface area on the back so that she can stand a little bit better, because they're just, when you compare the surface area of these 2 feet, it's just night and day how much bigger the Satana feet. And for the most part they work well. I mean, from most angles, you know, it looks good. But when they're turned on the side, they looks like she's wearing her dad's oversized shoes. You know, there's just too much space there. The foot is so much bigger than that tiny ankle that she has. So I'll probably just end up trying to beef up the feet that the figure comes with, and just be happy with that. The only other option would be to try sculpting feet completely from scratch, but I don't really think that's going to work too well when you try to manipulate the articulation. The peg's probably just going to end up tearing the sculpting material because it's not nearly as hard as the plastic is. Alright, well, hopefully you guys liked the video. You share with your friends, you hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I always love hearing back from you guys, so please leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.
That's crispy.